Right, let's get going. So start lying on your front. Controversial. We're going to start with some child pose. Don't get excited. Do the last exercise first. So into child pose. I just want you to move your arms from side to side. And then when you move over to the side, just push down a little bit so you're feeling a bit of a stretch across your back. Just keep doing this one for a minute. This should feel quite nice. Do one more on each side. And then go up to all fours, cat to cow neck, so arching and dipping. When you're arching your back now, just think about pulling your tummy up towards your spine, starting to engage your core. Keep going. I think you can hear the birds singing. It's really lovely. There's a robin in the garden that seems to have taken to sitting outside the gazebo. It's quite nice. And then roll onto your back. So rolling your knees from side to side, arms outstretched, trying to get your knees all the way over to the floor. Well done. While you're rolling your knees over, think about keeping the opposite shoulder pushed down towards the floor as well. Hopefully you can feel a little bit of a stretch in your armpits as you're doing this then. Keep rolling. One more to each side. And then bring your head up into your hands, straight leg kicks. Make sure you keep your leg completely straight. You'll probably have quite stiff hips and hamstrings this time in the morning, so just gently work on increasing the kick, but keep the leg straight. That's good, well done. And do one more, and then change legs. Okay, well done. Do one more kick, and then rest. Stay on your back, arms down by your side, or you can put your hands on your hips and you're going to start doing some pelvic rocks. So pushing your back into the floor and then arching. And as you rock your hips sort of back and push your back down, really work on pulling your tummy button back in towards your spine. So I'm really pushing my back into the floor. I can feel my tummy working and tightening up just below my tummy button. Do a couple more. And then roll onto your front, moving to thoracic rotations. Fingertips on temples, curl under, and then stretch up nice and high. So change the view of my laptop. Hi Jane! That's a leg before. Left the door of my gazebo open, it's nice and cold. And then change sides. One more. Good. And then finish with some leg swings. So up you get. I'm going to leave my bench in front of where I hang on to for these. Not good planning. Do some leg swings forward and back. So really work on keeping your torso nice and high and try and keep your upper body as still as possible. So all the movement is coming through your hips. That's it. So I'm not doing this because I haven't actually got anywhere to hold on to. Good. Change legs. But try and stay nice and tall. Don't lean forward. Good. And then side to side swings. Yeah, I can't tell. Shouldn't put my bench there. So side to side swings. Really work on kicking your leg across your body. It will just help to mobilise your glutes nicely. Good, well done. And then change sides. Good. That will do. Okay, first set. So we're going to be taking some of the exercises that we've been doing over the last few weeks and just kind of mixing them up a little bit and going for the sort of more challenging version of all of them. So the first one we're going to do is a side lunge leg raise, which we haven't actually done for a while. Hands on hips, or you can hold your hands to your chest like that. Lunge out to the side, slowly back to the centre, and then raise the same leg. You do 30 seconds on each side. So it's a slow balancing movement. So you lunge out to the side, back to the centre, raise the same leg. Keep the movement really slow. 30 seconds on each side. I just have my hands here because it's kind of a comfortable place to do it. So hopefully what you can feel is that it's working your glute in the leg that you're not moving. Well done. Do one more, and then change sides. You may find one side a bit easier than the other. That's it, well done. So while you're doing this, just keep thinking about keeping your core engaged. It'll help you balance. Good. One more. Lovely. Next one. Split squats, but not in a difficult position. So I don't always have a really, really big stride. So not a big stride, nice and tall. Let that back knee drop like that. And all you're going to do is to press your arms up and down. No weight. The idea is that the movement of your arms up and down is going to destabilize you. And you need to engage your core and engage your glutes to help you balance. So just moving your arms up and down. And I'm trying to squeeze the glute on my back leg to help me. Change sides. So just check your stride, make sure it's the same as the leg. Bend your back knee, squeeze that glute, and then press. Keeping that movement slow as well. So what you're aiming for is to be standing completely still while you're moving your arms. If you feel that you're wobbling, try and engage your core a bit more, try and squeeze your back glute a bit more. Good, I'm done. Onto the floor, clamshell. So to lie all the way down to the floor, head in your hand, curl your knees up, and then the top leg, you're going to take that leg over the other. So I'm resting the inside of my foot on my inside of my calf. Yes, that's me. And then lift up and down. So what I want you to look out for is what your top hip is doing. Make sure that your top hip doesn't rotate backwards. So doing it over the leg, on over like this will help with that. And you should be feeling a nice burn about here quite soon. 5 more seconds. 3, 2, 1. Lovely. Roll over other side. So again, all the way down, leg over the other, and raise and lower. Good. Well done. Last few seconds. Good. And then roll over onto your front. Alternate arm and leg tucks. So going to extend arm and leg, tuck, extend, and then change legs. Tuck, extend, and change. Keep the movement slow. Keeping your core engaged all the time. Keeping your tummy pulled up to your spine. Just watch out how high you lift your arm and leg as well. So you want your arm just lifted up to shoulder height, thumb to ceiling, foot at bum height. Well done. 10 more seconds. Good, and done. Right, side lunge, leg raises again. I'm going to repeat that one. So to progress it, if you want to, just work on lunging out to the side a bit more. So increase your range of movement if you can. Off we go. Well done. Good. Remember to keep your core engaged. Try and keep the movement as steady as you can. Not easy on a Monday morning. And then change sides. Always so much harder on this side. Keep going. 5 more seconds. Well done. That looks good though. Nice and stable. Good. And then the split squat press again. So for the second round, slightly bigger stride. That's going to make it a bit more challenging. You'll wobble around a bit more. So before you start, just bend that back knee, core braced, and then lift. So same as before. Just stretching your arms up and down while you balance. Try and get your core and your bum working as much as possible doing this, not your quads. So really squeeze your back glute. That's it, lovely. Keep going. And then change sides. So match the stride, make sure it's the same length. Drop the back leg, squeeze your bum, and press. Well done. If you're wobbling, just really pull the tummy into your spine. Keep going, well done. That's good. My arms are getting tired doing this out of weight. It's pathetic. 3, 2, 1. Good. Back down onto the floor. Clamshell again. So this time you're going to raise your top leg. So lower leg stays bent underneath you. Raise your top leg. Don't let your foot drop. Keep it active. You're going to raise and lower. Straight leg this time. Good. Small movement. I'm only sort of about 1.5 foot. I'm raising my leg up and down. And my foot's not going to the floor. 3, 2, 1. Good. Roll over. Curl the leg underneath you, leg straight. Off you go. Good. So think about how this feels. Does this feel more challenging to your bum than the bent leg movement? Because we're going to do a third set of these now. I actually want you to choose the harder of the two when we get to this exercise. So for me, it's keeping my leg bent that's more challenging. Although this actually is starting to burn now. Good. And then over onto all fours again. Alternate arm and leg tucks. Repeat that one. Off you go. Keep it very slow. Each time you bring your hand and knee down to the floor, re-engage your core. Bring your tummy button up to your spine again. Think about really pulling your arm and leg out as well. So imagine you've got ropes attached to your hands and your feet. So when you extend, you're really extending. 10 seconds. Good, and done. Up you get. Last set of these. Again, side lunge leg raises, no weight, body weight only. Just think about your range of movement. Step out to the side as much as you can. Off you go. Try and make this as even on both sides as I can as well. Good. So hopefully now when you're doing this, you should really feel the muscles here and the sides of your bum working as you step from side to side. Good, and then change sides. Well done. Looking good. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Split squat press. Again, make a bigger stride. I want to make this a bit harder. So the bigger the stride, the harder it's going to be. So before you start to move your arms, get your balance, drop your back knee, make sure your torso is nice and tall. Off you go. So if you have taken a bigger stride, you will wobble more. You're in a more unstable position. So you're going to have to work really hard to keep your core engaged, keep that back glute working to help stabilize you. Well done. Last few seconds. 2, 1, and then change sides. Off you go. Good. 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1, done. Good. Clamshell. So choosing either what you did in the first set or the second set. So you can either do this with leg crossover like that, or you can have that top leg straight. Choose the one you found more challenging. Off you go. Good. So you should feel this side of your glutes. Five seconds. Yeah, it's burning. 3, 2, 1. Roll over. And off you go. Well done. Good. Keep going. 10 seconds. It's definitely working the right muscles. 3, 2, 1. Good. Right, onto your front. So rather than doing alternate arm and leg tucks this time, you're going to do some pulsing movements instead. So you're going to raise hand and foot like that. It's going to pulse up and down. We're going to do it in 10-second increments, so I'll tell you when to change. Start now. So, because you're not swapping hands so quickly, you might find that you wobble and lean a little bit onto your supporting leg, so try to avoid that. Change sides. So try and keep your supporting leg as upright as possible. I'm not taking my foot to the ground, this is a little pulse. Change sides. Change sides. Change sides again, one more on each side. And then last one. Good, done, well done. Okay, next set. Seated torso rotations, a double leg drop, and dead bug. So just 3 exercises this one. The seated torso rotation. If you have got a lightweight, so a water bottle would be absolutely fine. It's quite good to hold something. Doesn't have to be heavy though. I'm going to go from trusty 2 kilogram. So, sit back, heels down, weight out in front of you, and you're going to rotate from side to side. So that's the first one. We'll start with that. I'll demonstrate the double leg drop while you're resting. So lean back, keep your chest upright, rotate from side to side, off you go. Doing 40 seconds for this. So what will probably fatigue more quickly is your arms being held out straight in front of you with the weight. So if your arms start to get tired, just bend them, bring the weight in towards your chest, but keep moving. Ten more seconds. 3, 2, 1. Good. Next one, double leg drop. So we've been working on this single leg drop, going into a double leg drop, but I want you to just do the double leg today. So before you start to move, head up into your hands, really engage your core, and it's going to tap your bent legs to the floor and up. Now, if you can't keep your back pushed down to the ground when you're dropping your legs to the floor, go back to the single leg one. It's a bit easy to control what your back's doing, but try and challenge yourself. So you should really feel this working in your tummy muscle below your tummy button. Quite hard to say. Last few seconds. 3, 2, 1, and done. Good. Dead bugs now. So fully onto your back. Arms and legs up. And dead bugs. So think about the same process that I was talking about with the alternate arm and leg extension. Imagine you've got ropes attached to your fingers and your toes. And when you extend, you really pull and extend. Lengthen everything. Well done. 10 more seconds. 3, 2, 1. Stay on your back. Just hug your knees into your chest. We're going to do another set of those, 2 sets actually. When you're doing these now, for the next couple of sets, think about your pelvic floor as well. So actually think about keeping your pelvic floor engaged and slightly drawn up when you're doing all these movements. And that will help your transverse abdominis, this big muscle at the front. It will help that to work more effectively and for your lower back not to take over. So torso rotations first. If you want to progress this, feel free to pick your feet off the floor. You don't have to, but if you want to, you can bring your heels off the floor. All right, off we go. Torso rotations. Exactly the same, but just think about your pelvic floor. So keep it slightly engaged and drawn up when you're doing these exercises. As your arms get tired as well, try not to draw your shoulders up, so keep your shoulders nice and low and loose. Keep going. Last few seconds. 3, 2, 1. Lovely. Onto your back. Double leg drop. So before you do anything, on your back, toes flexed up, and then engage your pelvic floor. So pull it up a little bit, and then go. You may find it a little bit easier to control what your lower back is doing if your pelvic floor is drawn up. Well done. So you might also feel this exercise in your hips as well. 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and then dead bugs. Arms and legs up. Off you go. Pelvic floor drawn up. When you have your arms and legs back to central position, it's quite a nice point to just rethink about everything. So push your back down, engage your core, bring your pelvic floor up, and then extend your limbs again. Keep going. That's good, well done. Really focusing on keeping your back pushed down as well. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Hug your knees in. We've got 1 more set of those to go. Okay, so torso rotations. Each time I land on the floor after redoing my hair, I haven't got my ponytail high enough. Let's try again, and then we'll start. That's better. Okay, so exactly the same for torso rotations. Challenge yourself if you can. Bring your feet off the floor, but only if you feel that you can control your back when you're doing it. All right, off you go. Good. Pardon me? 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Good. Double leg drops onto your back. Head up in your hands. Push your back down to the floor. 3, 2, 1. Off you go. Remember, if you're starting to get really fatigued now, if you think your back is doing too much work, then just go to this single leg drop instead. And if you finish with your knees a bit closer in towards your chest, that will just give your back a few seconds to recover. 10 seconds. And 3, 2, 1. Onto your back fully. Into dead bugs. Off you go. Again, if you are getting fatigued, just use your arms only. So keep your legs where they are and just use your arms. It's quite a testing set for lower back, this one. Keep going. Last few seconds. 3, 2, 1. Good. Right. Last little set to finish off with. So something a bit more vigorous now to get your heart rate up a bit to finish off with. We're going to do some reverse crunches and some full planks. So it's 20 seconds of reverse crunches, then you roll straight over, 20 seconds of plank. If you're not happy in the plank, in the full plank, then you can do a half one. That's fine. So reverse crunches on your back, arms down by your side, and you're going to kick your legs up. So I'm actually going to let you do a little kick to help get your bum up off the floor. So that's the first one. And then straight over into plank. And we're going to repeat that one 3 times before we stretch. Right, so get started. On your back, 20 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Off you go. So use that kick up to try and get your bum off the floor. Really kick up. Well done. 5 seconds. 2, 1. Roll over onto your front. Into plank or half plank. Go. 20 seconds. Good. 10 seconds. 2, 1. Done. Excellent. Little rest. You can actually get a layer off at last now. All right, reverse crunches again. Get ready. 3, 2, 1. Off you go. Watch you. That's good. Well done. So normally for these, I'd say don't use your legs like this, but actually at this point, it's quite nice to have a bit of help. Rest. Over onto your front. Into plank. 3, 2, 1. Go. Well done. Lovely. Five seconds. 3, 2, 1. And rest. Got one more set of those to go, and then we can stretch. I'm going to give you a slightly longer stretch this morning. All right, get ready. Off you go. Three, 2, 1. Straight over into your last plank. 3, 2, 1. Go. Last few seconds. 2, 1, done. Well done. Straight into child pose. Let's stretch out. So head down. Use your fingers on the mat just to pull yourself forward a bit. So make sure you keep your bum pushed down. Take nice deep breaths. And then take your arms over to one side and really push across. So you should get a nice stretch going down the side of your upper back. And then over to the side. And now put your hands under your shoulders. Tuck your toes under and push up. Oh, hello hamstrings. So try and get your legs as straight as you can. That's hard this morning. And then now really push your heels down. If you have to bend your legs ever so slightly, that's fine, but I want you to get your heels down to the ground. It might help to push your bum back a bit. Push into the heels of your hands. 3, 2, 1, and then release. Down onto your knees. Hip flexor stretch. Take your foot forward. Tuck your bum under, and then really push forward. Well done. We're going to do a few stages of this one. Hold this for another 10 seconds. And now I want you to reach across. And then staying on the same leg, take your foot out to the side, put your hands down to the floor, and really push into this. If you want to, you can get your sort of shoulder into your leg and just push it out to the side ever so slightly. Good, and then change sides. So, foot forward, tuck your hips under, and then push forward. Well done. Good. Keep holding that. And then reach across, really lean across, trying to get my stretch across the side here. And then stay on the same leg, take your foot out to the side, put your hands down. And then glute stretch. So 2 options. You can either do glute stretch going from straight arm plank and getting your leg underneath you, or you can sit and do it. You'll come to that position. Yeah, good. Well done. So you can increase the stretch a little bit just by taking your foot and just kind of moving it underneath you, just trying to move it around a little bit. Ow. That's some good facial expressions there. And then just try and sink down a little bit lower. Good, and then change sides. So again, you can increase the stretch just by physically moving your foot underneath you and then lower down. then just sink down a bit more. Just sort of relax onto your leg. And release. I'm just going to finish off with an inner thigh stretch now. So once you kneel up, face the camera, one leg out to the side, like that. So I've got my toes about level with my knee on the floor. And I'm going to sink down onto my heel and then lower down. And what you should feel is a really good stretch going all the way along the inner thigh. So I can get mine right from my hip all the way down past my knee. And depending on your flexibility, you can either have your foot flat like that, or you can actually turn your foot over. But keep your bum in contact with your heel. And then release slowly, come up and change sides. So extend your leg, toes in line with your knee, down onto your heel, and then lie forward. Ow. And then up slowly. Standing quad stretch. So if you need to hang on to something for support, that's fine. Pull your heel into your bum. Make sure that your back's not arched. So tuck your hips under, engage your core, stand up nice and tall. And then you can increase the stretch by pulling your heel into your bum a bit more. And then change sides. Heel into your bum. Make sure your back's not arched. Tuck your bum under, pull up, nice and tall. Lovely. And then release. Just finish off. Roll down. Let yourself hang down. Take a few deep breaths. And then slowly stretch up. Arms nice and high. And you're done. Well done.
Thanks, Catherine.